So we kind of have to talk about another tale of another iPhone which was almost perfect. This was the iPhone that kind of changed up a little bit of the design of, the past iPhones, and I was actually kind of happy when this iPhone first came out, but then we started learning more and more about it, and towards the end of its life cycle, it really ended up kind of becoming a weird iPhone to buy, and this specific iPhone is the iPhone 12. Now at, face value, this is still a pretty decent, iPhone. I think it's available pretty much everywhere. It just came out not too long ago, so it's really not an old iPhone, and you can go and pretty much go into Best Buy or the Apple stores and pick those iPhones up from there. But the problem with the iPhone 12 was not only with, a little bit of, some display issues when it first came out and different things like that, but it actually ended up becoming the battery health. And I've beaten this thing to death. I've talked about this thing so much, but I just want to kind of encompass the whole entire device because, to be honest, because of that battery health issue, it ended up kind of falling over into other areas and aspects of this iPhone. And again, it just doesn't really make too much sense to pick up this device anymore, even though it was almost perfect in a lot of different areas. Now, first of all, with this specific device, the build quality I think is really good. I loved the flat size on this iPhone, and I think the display of this thing, even though it wasn't 120 Hz, it definitely looked pretty good. I didn't think it was an ugly panel, and I think it looked pretty good overall. I loved feeling this thing in the hand, and it was actually pretty light for how big this phone was. It wasn't a, gigantic phone, but I was just surprised to see how that flat-sided phone would feel on a much bigger device like an iPhone 12. We used to have it on the iPhone 5s and 5Ss, but since then it didn't come back, and I love feeling that. And on the back of this phone, we had that glass back, which looked great. We had that dual camera setup as well. And overall, this phone, I think, was a really good package. It just so happened that internally, there were a couple of issues here that again, when I look at the iPhone 12, it just doesn't make too much sense to buy. Now, the iPhone 11, which was the iPhone before, actually ended up having a bigger size battery than this iPhone. And even that doesn't make too much sense to me. There really shouldn't be a situation where an iPhone, that's an older generation, has a bigger size battery than the latest generation in that same category. I would expect iPhones like the 11 Pro Max and 12 Pro Max to have bigger batteries than the iPhone 13s and the iPhone 12s and 11s, but I wouldn't expect an iPhone 11 to have a bigger size battery than an iPhone 12. And automatically there, I already started having some problems with that, because that iPhone had a smaller size battery than the iPhone 11, and it even had a smaller size battery than the iPhone XR. So those things didn't make any sense to me, like I mentioned before in those videos. But now in 2022, these phones have gone down in the used market. They've gone down in the brand new market. Apple's selling them for a little bit less than what they were sold for brand new because the latest iPhones came out. But again, the question is, why would you even want to buy this iPhone if it has a fairly big issue? And I think we're pretty close to Apple hopefully creating some type of service repair program for this device. And since that is kind of the issue, you kind of have to sit there and ask yourself, what is the reason why you would want to buy this iPhone? In my opinion, it would make much more sense to, if you just were to pick up an iPhone 11 or an iPhone 13, I would probably just skip this iPhone as a whole and just, go for the 13 or the iPhone 11. This iPhone was very close to being perfect. Unfortunately, it just didn't fit that criteria. So that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.